All right, welcome back with State Representative Joe Harrison. In a few moments, we're going to have Dr. John Floyd up here in the desk with Terrebonne General Medical Center, so don't go away. Very important topic. But let's go back to the phone lines. Then I want to ask you about charter schools.
Good.
Coming up, because I don't know, we've talked a little bit in the past about them. I know that was a governor's big push, but we'll find out about that. HTV, welcome to the program. You're on. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Martin and
Hi.
Joe.
How you doing tonight?
All right, good. I wanted to thank both of you guys. First, Martin, you for having a great show, and second, Joe, for your willingness to come on and report to the public on what's going on.
Thank
My
you.
question surrounds the Bayou Lafourche project, how the second $20 million will be spent, and do you think that the first $24 million was spent correctly and we got the correct results?
All right, good question.
It is a good question. It's one I'm involved in because I live along Bayou Lafourche. You know, it'll be many years before they get to our area, but I am concerned about the legal matters that we've been dealing with. I'm one that doesn't believe in expropriation of property. I'm a properties rights guy, and I want to make sure that we're properly doing that. It's been a long process just to get to where we are in that first part of it. The railroad bridge, to me, is a big issue because it impedes the flow of the water in the Donaldsonville area, and we're working on that. The second $20 million, during the hurricane, we had 330-something thousand people without water for 18 days. I know because I was tapped by the governor to be on top of it. It was a horrible situation. It was one that this next $20 million, I think, should go toward the pump station in Donaldsonville. Those pumps are 1940s, 1950s. You can't maintain nor can you get parts for them anymore. And we can be much more efficient, and I think that's where I'm hopeful that the board, and they're looking at the possibility of putting new pump system in there and then work on the flow and getting good fresh water through to the people of our area.
Don't I notice you do go head to head against your own party, the governor sometimes, but he does put you in key situations. So I know y'all not rivals. Y'all get at it sometimes professionally and go at it, but when he needs you, he'll put you on the right committee.
He does, and I appreciate with the governor. I don't want anybody to misinterpret my relationship with Governor Jindal. There are times we have three bodies. I mean, it's the legislative, the judicial, and the executive branch. And it's my job and duty to, when we see something that can be corrected, and I just offer the experience of the situation that I'm in, and hopeful that it's good advice. And thankfully, he has allowed me to serve in many of the positions where we can be most effective.
All right, let's take another call, and I want to ask you about those charter schools, so we're going to get back to that. HTV, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Martin.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hey, in 1969, I worked at a country club in Highland Park, Illinois.
Okay.
He's listening to
Put your TV off. Put it on mute, okay? So we can hear you. Just talking the phone regular.
Okay. And Highland Park had the highest, Highland Park school, not a private school, had the highest scholastic record in the United States for over 10 years. This is mostly a Jewish community. They do not care how much money they spend on their children. Education. They hired college professors to teach third grade arithmetic. In 1977, I was living in Houma, and the Houma Courier had an article that says because of the oil revenue, no new taxes for 20 years because of the oil field revenue. Now, that was before the lottery or gambling casinos or off-track betting.
Okay. So you just wanted to comment on that? All
Yes.
right, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fine. You know, in comparison to other states, and I work very closely with the educational community, especially the public school systems, because the majority of our population cannot afford to go to the private schools. They need to access what is available to them and their children. We need to make sure it's the best. I've written about 12 major plans and bills that affect our schools, from counselors having to work year by year now with the parents or parent and the child on evaluations on making sure that we get to that point. Our tax base is low in comparison to a lot of other states, but don't misrepresent what is actually there. The dollars are there. It's putting the dollars at the facility, and that's I wrote a bill last year unsuccessfully that said 80% of every education dollar had to be spent at site, not at school boards, not at programs that are test theory programs, but at site. I think that K through 4, I'd like to see us have 2 teachers in every classroom, 1 teaching, 1 evaluating, and switching, and do what's called the loop program in the area that he just talked about. And that is, and would help us because we don't have that family connection, and that's, those 2 teachers would stay from kindergarten through 4th grade with those children. They would understand their home life. They would understand what's going on with those kids in their lives.
A mentor also.
And a mentor, and in most cases, a lot of teachers would say they're surrogate parents. But that would give us that touch to them and to give them that hardcore base that they need. Once they get out of 4th grade with an education like that, they're pretty much self-sufficient.
Yeah, they're sort of stamped in the right
direction. It is, and it's a proven fact. I've looked at Virginia. I've went to different areas. New Zealand is a big proponent of that and turned their country around because of it. So yes, we can do it. We will do it. We just have to commit our efforts in the right area.
All right, let's close, and I apologize to the callers. I know we leaving you hanging, but we got about 2.5 minutes left with State Representative Joe Harrison. I want to get on the charter schools because we talked on a previous show about charter schools. The governor was a big proponent of charter schools, but I got to be honest, we have several of them under investigation, none locally.
Right.
St. Charles has one, Thibodeau area has one. Those are doing really well, but we have 9 in the state that are in trouble, aren't they?
They are, and actually 2 of them are under a very severe review right now. Many improprieties. The paper just came out with those schools that had been classified or really have been deemed to be not up to score on a lot of their facility planning that they have done within the education, and it's unfortunately a failure with a lot of them. We've had major theft. We had one facility, $600,000. That's where I've always tried to stress, and so has the public education. They're not afraid of competing. It's just that there's no oversight of charter schools.
Right.
There's no school board to look at the balance sheet to see where they're at or to see exactly what they're doing. So
each school basically is a corporation.
It is. It's a private entity. It's one that they're attempting to move more and more in that direction. But if you look at what's mandated in the public schools, a lot of that we could take out of there would put us on a even playing field, and I think our educational system would change dramatically.
But the good charter schools really suffer when that comes out
because
they're doing it right.
They are, and there are some very good charter schools out there. I don't want to take anything away from them naturally, but I think that we have to have better oversight, and that's going to come out very soon now, because we can't afford to keep giving our tax dollars away to fraudulent, which I care to say, fraudulent facilities not doing the job either way.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you being on with us, and I think we'll come back on next time. I guess we're going to talk about the gambling monies because we get a lot of calls on that. So would you spend a little time with us on that and maybe tell us where every dollar's going on that? That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that the public, they need to know where their tax dollars are being spent. It's time to open the books and let them understand why we're suffering in some areas and make their voices heard.
All right. Joe, thank you for being on. We appreciate you spending so much time with us, and we'll see you on another show.
Thank you. And again, good health to your father. I hope he gets out soon and is back on the ground with the rest of us.
All right. I appreciate that, and so does he. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, Dr. John Floyd with Terrebonne General Medical Center is going to be on. Endometriosis is the topic, and he'll be on right after the break, so don't go away.